Here she is, blood, sweat, tears. So much went into the writing of my book, Divine Union in 14 Days. But even more than that, to the girlies, so many nights alone crying, inconsistent behavior, terrible dates, men that just would not rise, would not level up, just the frustration, the loneliness, all of it led and was the payment towards this book that I wrote for you so that you could call in your divine masculine, be done with the games, be done with the men that just refuse to level up for you, that play games, that make you feel so unsafe and dysregulated. And that's who I wrote this book for. The feminine that is done with it and ready to intentionally call the divine masculine into her life. And so far, I've read the prologue and chapter 1 to you. I'm actually giving you free content from my book, and I hope that it's inspiring you, and I hope that it's making you actually want to put forth these intentional and easy and healing and comforting steps so that you call in your divine masculine, King Daddy, and your whole entire life changes the way that mine has. So let's get into chapter 2 today, shall we? I'm thinking usually like a chapter takes 2 videos because it's a pretty long chapter. Also, I do not include the counterpart connections in these reads. At the end of each step, this is a 14-day step process to call in your divine masculine. I include a counterpart connection, which is an activity, a meditation, something that you do, something that you call in or you like assimilate into your daily routine to make these steps more effective, to really drive it home and bring home your King Daddy. So I did not include those in the read, and if you want those, you're going to have to get the book, which is available at the link in my bio, and honestly, you can buy it anywhere at all major retailers, which is super exciting. I hope that you'll pick the top option, though, because that's directly from the publisher, and that helps me to just continue in my writing and in my work. A lot of it that I do for free, like reading to you now. But let's get into chapter 2. So in the very first step, we stopped the cycle. Go back and watch that video, but we basically weeded out the toxic relationships, situationships, and relationships truly that are keeping us from calling in our King Daddy. Because when you have negativity and you have toxicity around you, it blocks you from calling in real love. And so you need to get really clear on what those relationships are and start saying no to them. Day 2 is tend to yourself. So let's get into exactly what tend to yourself means. So you've axed all the dusty men who text you late at night to, quote, have some fun. You've blown off the friends who only call you to sit beside them on a lonely weekend night at the bar and watch them get drunker as the night progresses. You're off the dating apps, mostly because the trite conversation back and forth on the apps with people who you don't know at all and are unsure you'll ever meet has become stale. Your phone is quiet. Your go-out clothes are hanging lonely and untouched in the closet. And you have all the free time in the world. So much time alone. If you've successfully achieved step 1 on this path towards divine union, this is most likely your reality. And I'm sure it feels weird, if not downright depressing. When I started to respect myself and demand more from the people I allowed into my life, my social life became almost non-existent. There is a space in between you walking away from your old situationships that weren't serving you and calling in the best relationships of your life. I like to call this space and time outer darkness. You're blindly feeling your way towards the light, towards evolved, more harmonious relationships, but you don't really know what they look or feel like yet. You've been entertaining the energy vampires and users for so long, you can't conceptualize what these new relationships will feel like. And there's quite literally no one around. It's straight crickets. So it can feel dark at times, and it's often depressing. But don't be tempted to call one of those rando guys in your contacts or scroll back into your text messages to reach out to a dusty for an egotistical dopamine hit as they text back, hey, what's up? Sit in the discomfort. Think of it as a rhetorical cleansing. It is a burning down of what is no longer for you. In religious contexts, it is often called the refiner's fire. You are allowing the pain of the sacrifice you're making towards a brighter outcome to cleanse you of the parts that need these hits of dopamine or toxic relationships. As you will see throughout this manifestation period, you are being given opportunities to meet yourself and the parts of you that continue to choose chaos and people who aren't choosing you back. Some shadow work will need to be done along the way. We will talk more about techniques that can confront these more insecure parts later in this book. For now, know that you are going to be okay. As you delve deeper into what brings you bliss, you will focus less on the pain of outer darkness. That leads me to step 2 of our 14-day path to divine union, which is tend to yourself. I have chosen the gardening term of tend because in many ways that is exactly what you are doing for your spirit. When you tend to a garden or plant, you observe them quietly and easily, but consistently. You watch what they need by the look of their leaves, the feel of their soil. You can observe that they may need a bit more water, perhaps more time in the sun, and then you make those small adjustments almost daily to meet their specific needs. These needs may seem minute, but over time you realize that the small adjustments you made to them are actually the very things that have led to a thriving plant. So, take stock of what it is that you do want to do at any given moment. I'll bet you've spent a lot of time during your life attuning to what other people needed. What did you need to give them or demonstrate to them so that they would choose you and love you, give you a smattering of attention? Since we've cut the toxic, we can now hear what it is that we need. And that is found early on in this healing by asking ourselves a simple question. What do I want to do right now? Yes, it really is that elementary. Ask yourself this right now and listen for the answer. I currently want to go change into stretchier pants because the yoga pants I'm wearing this minute are cutting into my full from breakfast belly. As I'm writing this book, I'm realizing I need to go fill up my water bottle as I'm thirsty. Get down to your basic physical needs. I started my day moving my body because it's a practice that I often don't want to do, but that I know will put me on to the tasks of my day that I do want to do, like writing. After I write this morning, I'm realizing that later I want to go see a movie, perhaps after dinner, and that brings me a spark of joy. I am tending to myself while I meet my responsibilities, because I have the place in my life to do that now. Mother yourself, baby yourself. Start to put yourself as first priority every minute of the day. I'm a busy working mom, so this is often hard to do. When I pick up the kids from school, it is often chaos in the car with fighting, sometimes tears, and speeding to the next practice or lesson. I still prioritize myself by listening to the music that I want to hear, running through the Starbucks drive-thru to grab the dragon fruit refresher that I like, or quieting them for a minute so I can take some deep breaths. Start implementing rituals like this throughout your day. That spark joy and help maintain that calming energy. Here are some ideas for rituals that you can fit into your daily busyness. Deep breaths, dancing, yoga, embracing a loved one, meditation, smelling the flowers, making coffee or tea each morning, painting your nails, little snacks you like throughout the day, power napping, uplifting music, bike rides, quick walks, picking flowers, journaling, making a vision board or picture collage, drawing, doodling, making cookies, a skincare regimen, reading, a phone convo with a trusted friend, writing a poem, listening to a podcast, putting together Legos, a hot bath, a long drive, perusing the aisles of Target, a good stretch. These are just a few ideas and may seem trite, but it is taking the time out of your day to treat and love on yourself that raises the bar on how you expect others to treat you. Also, as you tend to yourself and get your nervous system regulated, you can then be about the business of chasing your passions. Surrounding yourself with negativity and emotional vampires puts us in a state of dysregulation and anxiety. So after you calm yourself and start implementing practices that initiate those comforting feelings, you will be in a better state to hear the call from within around your life's purpose. Finding your life's purpose sounds meteoric and elusive, but it's actually pretty easy. Our life's purpose is to be happy and achieve joy and light. That's it. It is discovering the things that achieve these blissful feelings for you. You start by attaining calm through putting yourself first, tending to yourself, and by positive ritual. Then, when you've started to feel better and more grounded, you can dive even deeper into finding purpose and fulfillment. I'm going to finish chapter 2 on the next video, and I hope that you'll follow me for more.